Hello and welcome to ChefConf 2018. My name is Schygulla, and I'm here today together with my colleague Juan Martinez to speak a little bit about how SAP leverage chef automation. Sorry, not chef, SAP automation. Before I start, I would like to give you a quick introduction about SAP. So SAP is the third largest independent software manufacturer and creating enterprise applications. SAP was founded in the 70s and is already 64 years in the market. We are counting more than 19,000 employees worldwide and having over 318,000 customers in more than 180 countries buying our software. SAP is creating solutions for all business processes in all industries. On this slide, you can have a short overview about the product portfolio, what we have available. For more information and specific details you want to look up, please visit our website, sap.com. To give you a little bit of context about the talk, I would like also to introduce our team, which we are part of the SAP organization, and what we are doing. Our responsibility within SAP is to deliver and manage is to deliver infrastructure for internal SAP product development groups, as well for pre-sales, training, consulting, and support. In 2017, we have managed more than 20,000 servers. We have processed over or almost 40,000 incident or ticket requests, and we have recreated every week almost 3,500 systems for training or demo purposes. Our organization, PSD, has started in 2015 to introduce infrastructure as code with DevOps and CI and CD practices and principles to our internal development teams to help them to manage the internal development processes and the development systems. The tools of our choice at that time was for configuration and automation management, Chef. That's obviously the reason why we are talking today here. We are also using Terraform for the infrastructure management. And for some pieces for operational tasks, we are using Rundeck, which is helping us to automate a few tasks which we cannot do with other tools. For the purpose of the presentation, I choose 4 larger examples about what we are doing with Chef. And I would like to start with the most obvious one, where many other companies and communities are starting to use Chef. The first goal was, the first use case is here the automated server and system provisioning. The goal and the target is for us to automate the installation process for creating server systems and application provisioning. Our team has created in the past 3.5 years around 55 different system templates, which are individual systems to be set up, configured, and deployed to a cloud infrastructure or also on some bare metal infrastructure. My team has created in the past 3.5 years almost or over 300 different cookbooks, which we also continue to maintain and support for our internal product development teams. To help and support our product development teams to consume and use easily the automated system server provisioning, we also created a self-service so that developers can go to a simple website, select a template, what they would like to have or what they need to for their development and testing purposes, select it from a catalog, click on a button, and it will be deployed and automated installed on the target infrastructure. Afterwards, they get a nice email with the access credentials, how they can access the systems. The benefit of using the automated system and server deployment is that we achieved in 2017 around 3,500 man day savings just with the automation of previously manually created tasks to automate the setup of applications and systems for development organizations. The second big use case I would like to showcase or introduce to you today is the continuous configuration automation. In 2015, when we have started to use infrastructure as code, we wanted to have from the beginning as well the possibility to apply and enforce configurations on our systems which you're managing. Today you would use Chef Compliance or InSpec, but at that time the products have been not available, so we had to create and start with our own solution. We have created not really an infrastructure, but we're using a Chef client together with a Chef server, which is running in a scheduled way on the target machines. We have created a small agent, which is basically taking care that the Chef client is always up and running. If the Chef client is failing, it is getting reported to a reporting tool so that we get alerts if something is not working, that we also can fix it afterwards. As of today, we have in the scope around 6,000 servers, which we are enforcing and applying our configurations, which are relevant for our operations team, but also for enforcing standards for security settings and the stuff what we usually try to do with our compliance checks, so to make sure that our systems are compliant. We have identified or created so far 30 or 35 policies which we are applying on our systems. And the nice benefit of this scheduled execution of the continuous configuration automation is that we have also introduced a kind of a self-healing to our servers, since we are running this every hour and we have, for example, the requirement that we have McAfee installed or certain security settings set. If the McAfee is not up to date or not running anymore for whatever reason, after 1 hour we can be sure that it is already running and configured in the way we want to have it. If it's not the way as it is, we have again the reporting for that and getting alerts if something is failing for several times again. The third topic I would like to showcase you here is maybe if you haven't started to look into this yet, but we had started beginning of last year a project based on the learnings of the automated server and system provisioning, how quickly we can recreate servers from scratch, that we started to review our processes to recover systems, basically doing backup recoveries, also in a mass scale. And we sat together with the sysadmins, the ops teams, to identify the current workflow, what is done in that to recreate the systems. We have identified several process steps where we could eliminate unnecessary processes because they have been done since many years, but there was no need to do it anymore. So we have eliminated processes or simplified the processes, but also we have used automation, and in most cases Chef automation, to automate tasks, which reduce the recovery time significantly on our infrastructure. So we achieved time savings from 60 to 80% in the recovery time as it was before, just with automation or reduction of or simplification of processes. The fourth area what I would like to show is to you is the velocity of our CI/CD pipelines from our internal product development teams. We have a DevOps Center of Excellence in our organization, which is basically helping product development teams to introduce DevOps tools, practices, methodologies, agile into development teams, which are either too small or do not have the capacity to start their own learning, how DevOps should work, how it can work, so we enable them. With our help, we have been basically started the organic growth within SAP to introduce DevOps in a large scale. So our team is able to, or was able in 2017 to run around 30 projects, or is able to run around 30 projects with different product development teams to help them to improve their CI/CD pipelines, improving this with automation, also introducing our self-service so that the developer can use easily the automation for the system server provisioning for their development purposes. And we have been quite successful in this within SAP. So we have around 20 success stories every year, and also for every project what we're doing, at least a thank you email that we help the teams to introduce or to help to improve the CI/CD process for them. I want to share also with you a little bit about how our CI/CD pipeline for our Cookbook development process look like. Since we started, again, almost 3.5 years ago with Chef Cookbook automation and creation. At that time, there was no Chef delivery available, to my knowledge. It came later. And we wanted to have from the beginning a CD/CI pipeline as well for our cookbook development. So we have created our own solution, and what you see here on this slide is basically already an iteration and improvement which has been done over the past 3.5 years. So what we are doing is we're having a fully automated multi-cloud CD/CI process. Multi-cloud is quite important for us since we are not having only internal private cloud infrastructure, but we are also consuming infrastructure, for example, from Google Cloud, Azure, AWS, and potentially also other infrastructures in the future. So we had to create an infrastructure which is able to deal with that. We are doing no rocket science here anymore. We also simplified or reduced the complexity of our CD and CI process. So basically the development happens locally from the developer's local PC. We're using our internal GitHub Enterprise for version control management. We have the pull requests and hooks to our Jenkins pipeline, which is basically testing the pull requests. We are heavily using Test Kitchen also to deploy infrastructures on the different cloud providers, and also using since beginning of the year InSpec to do integration tests. Of course, we are running also the typical tests like Food Critic and Chef Style to make the code compliant and similar to our standards. After the CI pipeline and the pull request is green, everything was passed. We upload then the cookbooks using Berks and Berks upload to our production chef server, and we are managing basically the different environments via environment files on the chef server, so that we have on our production server the possibility to run different versions of our cookbooks managed via the environment files on test landscapes or production landscapes. Since we are doing the chef compliance, or how we call it, the continuous configuration automation, since a few years, and if you have followed the slides a little bit, our team is managing around 27,000 servers. Today we have 6,000 servers applied with configuration management. There's a gap of 20,000 servers. So you may ask why there's a gap. For some of our internal product development teams, they do not really like the idea to have a chef client running on their systems. So they want to have the support from us to operate the systems, but they do not really like the idea that we have the client running. On some product development teams, it's also understandable if they're doing performance tests. They don't want to have a scheduled client, which is then executing, running, and fixing maybe something, and then interrupting the performance testing. So that's the reason why we have some exceptions. For those reasons, and for those customers, we started last year with a POC, and now we started to introduce and implement chef compliance to do the compliance checks via InSpec, and then afterwards fixing it with our cookbooks, which we have anyway available and created. Yeah, in the scope for this year, we have 20,000 servers. The pipeline looks very similar to the DCI pipeline. At least this is our idea at the moment. We have some challenges, but we have also Juan here, who is giving you a little bit more details and maybe also a short demo about what we're doing today.
Hi, let me introduce the demo. Okay, last year we held a project where we introduced the InSpec stuff. We tried to have all of the cookbooks that, come on.
Now you have to sing.
Yes, I need to sing to my, could you please?
Now you see walking up on your recorder.
Sorry, I
knew
need.
it was something with your phone this morning. You messed with your phone this morning.
Okay. The issue is that I'm not in the BPM. Okay, so the project consists in educate all of our developers in InSpec. We train them. We start using the whole pipeline for InSpec, and now we are refactoring all of our cookbooks that with this kind of tests to be compliant with the with that Cookbook supposed to do. So those policy enforcement that Martin were talking about has all of the tests here in the Cookbook. Okay, that's it. So we introduced this this file for all of the cookbooks that has policy enforcement, and this way we can be sure that the cookbook is doing what's it's supposed to do. The challenge that we are having right now is this is great for CI. This is great because every pull request we create is triggering a multi-cloud testing with Test Kitchen. It will create a job for Food Critic, another job for Cook Style, and it will trigger also the InSpec test. And the challenge that we are seeing now is, for example, I create a profile in order to have all of this. These are the tests, or these are the policy that we create. And if you want to check, let's say one, well, we upload this profile to the InSpec server. Sorry, so that to the compliance server. But one of our challenge now is how to manage 20,000 servers there. For the ones that are having already the client, the Chef client, we don't have issues there. We can use the audit cookbook.
You need to upload the profile.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't upload the profile. So for all of those servers that has already the Chef client, we don't have issues. We can use the audit cookbook and we can get the result from there. But for all of the servers that are not in the Chef environment, we cannot do this. And we are having challenge to manage 20,000 servers within a list with command separated values. And this is our challenge right now. So we are working heavily with with the Chef colleagues, and we are trying to solve that. That is the journey that we are having right now. So if you can see, let's see the GUI in this. Okay, so my profile has been updated, uploaded to this, I think. Okay, that is. If you can see, this is a server that doesn't have any configuration policy enforcement. And if you can see, the test for the Chef client is failing. So we don't have any Chef stuff there. Let me show you one that already have all of the policy enforcement. And in the meantime, we can also create a job for scan a lot of servers, but as I said, this is not very comfortable to do with a CSV file. So if you go to scanners, you can create a new job, test. You can select all of the servers that I have here that are about 27 or something. You choose the profile, and you can create the job. So this is the job that we are seeing right now. It's running, and after this, we will see how much test has been passed, or getting an error, and we can report this back to our customers and say, hey, you are not in compliance and all of that stuff. In the meantime, the other server, this is one of the servers that has already all of the configuration management run list. As you can see, we pass all the tests. And this has already, no, it's running. So this is one of the challenges that we are working with Chef colleagues, how to manage all of those nodes that doesn't have any Chef client installed. And we are hoping that get there soon. So this is the report has been finished, and is reporting us back how per server or per profile or per test, what if you click into the details, we will see this anytime that the Chef agent test is failing, we will not have all of the compliant stuff. If you check with another server that has the compliant stuff, this is one of the that is managed by the Chef server. If you can see, the Chef agent is there. So I think we are done.
Okay, then also thank you from my side joining this call. And if you have later on questions, you can also reach out to us, to me or Juan. We are around. Also tomorrow we are still here, so please come to us and ask us your questions. Thank you.
Thank you.